Hello everyone, welcome to ODSC Halo Guide. I am Perplexality here, and you're going to watch some 1v1 gameplay. And I'm going to go ahead and give a few basic tips about how to play 1v1 and some of the little strategies. Now, I want to warn you, I'm not a 1v1 expert. I'm a very much team player associated kind of guy to play. But I do know some general things that are very basic to all of Halo, but especially 1v1s, I feel. So even though I may not be an expert and some of these may not be the most adept, they are some basic tips to help some people who are just starting to try to figure out 1v1s. So a little about the game. I was just sending out a message to a bunch of recent players, and this guy, CopycatToni, you'll see he's abbreviated Tony at the bottom of the screen. He's the bottom right player, and I am the top left player, and we're going to go ahead and duke it out right here. This is a map I've never seen before, although I kind of recognize it from the few days I played Reach. I did not play Reach a lot, but I kind of recognize it, so I sort of had a feel for the map. But we'll go ahead and get started. So I want to talk about the basic things that make 1v1s 1v1s and why it makes them so hard for some players like me to swap, and why it's so easy for other players to kind of get into 1v1s. So 1v1s are basically controlled where you have to worry about kind of keeping momentum. You gotta worry about power weapons. You gotta worry a lot about the psychological warfare of it. Kind of just like going ghost, you know, like just disappearing. And a lot of it is just getting inside the other person's mind and making predictions about what they're gonna do. So I want to go ahead and talk about kind of map control and power weapons, because it is a very important thing. So when you're going for map control and power weapons and stuff like that, momentum is everything in 1v1s. Which, in big team games and stuff like that, momentum kind of changes, because it takes a bunch of players making one big push to really shift momentum. But really, you just have to kill the other player once, and momentum's already shifted in your favor. Now you can just keep going, because as long as you disappear well, you have the power weapon that they had, you have the position, and you're in a good position to go ahead and keep making caps and stuff like that, and keep making points. So it's important that you keep your momentum. So let's say you kill some guy who has rockets. Take his rockets, because now you have more power and you're keeping more momentum going and everything. It's also very easy for that momentum just to get halted if you get shot and stuff like that. If you play team games and stuff like that, it's really about getting individual kills. You know, if you have rockets and you're going against 2 or 3 guys, well, you might not kill all of them. You might only kill 1 or 2. But in 1v1, if you have one guy versus one guy, and one has a BR and the other guy has rockets, unless there's some kind of crazy circumstance of like footing or something, or there's some other advantage that the guy with the BR has, the guy with the rockets is going to win 99% of the time. It's just basic logic. So it's a lot easier for you to get it. So you really need to make sure your shots are on point. It's another thing that's really big for 1v1s, because there's no team shots in here. You miss a shot, you missed a shot. A good way to kind of practice this is, I play pretty much nothing but Team Snipers and Free-For-All as of late. And then if I have some other people playing with me, I might play Team Slayer, CTF, or even Team Throwdown. But mostly, if you want to work on like shots and just pure skill, Free-For-All is where it's at. Because you kind of get those 1v1 fights where you're constantly engaged with someone throughout the map. And it's very easy for you to kind of get into these battles and practice these little skills and practice one-on-ones. And you notice a lot of the free-for-all players are the big 1v1 players. Like, they're really into that free-for-all mentality. Me, I'm more of a guy who kind of likes having teammates beside me. So I know I can count on, like, strategy to kind of team shot this guy or take a position. And I like thinking about the general thing, not what individual players are doing. Because that is the big part of the mentality of it. But I'll get to that in a second. And also power weapons. Power weapons are a huge deal in this. The power weapons on this map are Sniper and Overshield. Now, we control Sniper Rifle because it's a power weapon that can give you an instant kill. And Overshield also boosts your shield so you can avoid that instant kill, and you can outlast someone in like BR fights, or even just double beat down someone. So a lot of it is based on getting those power weapons, because let's say you grab the rockets after the other dude. Now that you have the power weapon, you're guaranteed to get kills. You grab the overshield, you're almost guaranteed to get the next kill as long as you play it right. Again, there could always be a circumstance that gets in the way of that, but if you look at it in a straight up fight, the guy with the rockets is going to win most of the time compared to the guy with the BR. The guy with the overshield is going to win most of the time compared to the guy without an overshield. It all just comes down to getting those power weapons. So you need to make sure you have power weapons and you're hitting your shots with them so you know how to use them well. You see, one of the big flaws is if my sniper were on in this game, you know, I'd be a lot better. If his sniper were on, which I imagine he wasn't quite on with his shots either, then he would have been doing a lot better. It really just depends on how you do it. Now we're going to get into the big part of it, which I think is 99% of free-for-all, which is psychological warfare. It's all about getting into the opponent's head. I was watching the Halo 4 Global Championships. Great video, by the way. You watch it, it's like 2 hours for the live stream they did on Twitch. Amazing. If you haven't seen it, go see it. You know, nail biter towards the end. It was amazing. But you notice that a lot of the players, they say that, like, I want to know what my opponent's going to do before he knows what he's going to do. Like, that's how well you want to kind of get inside someone's head. Because if you can predict where they're going to go, you can plant a grenade there or something, or you can cut them off, or you can get the first shot in. I've always talked about how getting the first shot in can guarantee you a victory on a one-on-one with straight-up other physics, you know, where nothing else is getting in the way. If you land that first grenade, then you're probably going to go ahead and finish it off as long as you guys are equally skilled and everything, and there's no crazy circumstance with them having a power weapon or something. So assuming you have the same things, that first shot is very, very crucial. So you'll notice a lot in this game will kind of disappear, and let's say I'll just pop up behind him or something, and I'll get the first few shots in, then I'll win. Or he'll pop up right behind me, and he'll get the first few shots in, and then he'll win. Like, it's all about getting those first few shots. So you got to get into their mindset and figure out where they are. And this is where I fall behind. This is what I think my weakness is, which is getting into their head. Because you need to make sure you know them so well and you're able to outmaneuver them. And me, I'm a big team player where I like to think about how everyone's doing and what I can do to help myself. Like in Big Team Player, you're not going to focus on one player, single him out, and get inside his mind. You're trying to figure out what the whole team's doing in general and then kind of trying to act against that whole team. You might want to counter for like their particular sniper or something. But in general, for team games, you're looking at everything that someone's doing. But in this, you're only going against one guy. You know, it gets a lot more focused where he's the only person you gotta kill. So what the whole team is doing is what he is doing. So you really gotta focus on getting him and getting inside his head. It's like if you play team doubles, you know, even in team doubles, it goes where you guys gotta stay closer together and kind of focus more on what you're doing to die less and get more kills, because it comes down to like kill by kill when you get in team doubles compared to big team slayer or something like that. It's really big in general where you're not really focused. So of course, like as the team sizes get smaller, the more of the mental warfare that you play goes up, which I mean with 1v1s it's tons of mental warfare right there. So you really got to make sure you're on your A game when you're getting there. Now, another segment of it is kind of just like, I like to call it just like going ghost, you know, like you just disappear. Because when someone's shooting at you and stuff, or you just finish them off, you don't want to stick around that body too long, because that's the last place they knew where you were. So, of course, the logic is, I'm going to go back there, I'm going to finish up the kill, I'm going to do whatever. Well, what you need to do is you need to disappear where they can't find you. In this game, we weren't using radars, so it made it a little bit easier to kind of disappear. But even if you, in other games, if you crouch and stuff and he doesn't know where you are, you're able to jump out from stuff and surprise him, and that will help you get those first shots, which will help you get those kills. And kills are so crucial in this game. Again, I'm not a 1v1 guru or everything. These are just general things. I have done a few 1v1s in the past, and this is pretty much the general outline of all the things that I've decided I have done right. Because just the mental warfare is definitely a big part of it. You want to make sure they don't know where you are. I think in The Art of War, Sun Tzu said all warfare is based on deception. Thus, when able to attack, one must seem unable. You know, he's saying right there that even though he thinks we're over here, we're going to be in a completely different position, like behind this rock when he thinks we're behind this pillar. Because we're just going to go ahead and pop out around him and finish him off. And he's not even going to know what's coming. He's thinking we're somewhere else, so he's preparing for someone being over there. So you really got to just make yourself disappear and make the person constantly guess at what you're doing. Because the more ambiguous your actions are and the more you're guessing, the harder it is for him to figure out what you're doing and kind of get inside your head. So again, it's all that mind battle. Like right here, it's all about who's going to get that last kill. Where's he going to be? Where are we going to go ahead and fight? Who's going to land that nade? So it comes down to a lot of stuff. You know, it's constant mental warfare. So again, a lot of it is just as you play long enough, you'll start noticing things that players do, and that will tell you kind of what people tend to do in these situations. So you want to focus on anticipating what other people do, getting your shots on, controlling power weapons, and keeping that momentum going when you're on a streak or something. That's pretty much all the time we have. If you guys want more 1v1 stuff, feel free to message me. Follow me on Twitter. You can find a link in my YouTube channel or in the description below for stuff to that. You can go ahead and chat with me on there. And just thank you guys for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe if you go ahead and like the gameplay. And you can go ahead and talk to me about anything else you want to see. But thanks you guys for watching. ODST, out.